Polly.
Okay, so just want to introduce myself. My name is Alex Dia, and I'm a customer service representative at 9463, so under Keith, Connie, and John, and used to be Susan, of course. Basically, why I'm here today is because I'm going to just talk to you and go through the day in the life of a customer service representative and what I do every single day on the job. So here's what I'm going to touch base on today. It's the agenda. So basically, I'm just going to tell you the typical day for me for a 3 to 8:15 shift. So before, during, and after a 3 to 8:15 shift, so you know exactly what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, and basically my plan for the day. Even though I've been a CSR for about 12 months now, I've just celebrated my first year anniversary 2 days ago. But I'm still learning new things every day, as you can see, Keith. But I'll try to touch upon my perspective on what the CSR role is about, like to me. Then I'll go into a topic about motivation, of what motivates me every single day on the job, and why I strive to be better every single day. Then hopefully by the end of this presentation, this short presentation, I hope, you'll be able to know exactly how to manage and motivate someone like me, like a CSR, at your branch. But before I dive into this presentation, I just want to say how honored and just express my deepest gratitude for giving me the time to stand here in front of you and present to you. Because really, my presence here is unlikely. And like in no other company that I've worked for is this even possible for a frontline worker from Station Square to be presenting in front of people manager like you. So thank you. So let me tell you about myself before I begin. So this is me, this is my timeline. So I came from a chubby baby boy to a young man who wears suits on the job. Basically, I'm from Edmonton originally, but I grew up in Vancouver and Burnaby all my life. My parents, they came from Vietnam. They immigrated here during the peak of the Vietnam War, because of the strife and political strife and communists versus Democrats and stuff. As immigrants, they started at the bottom. They had to work their way to the top. They worked laborers' jobs while learning English on the side. And my mother, she worked janitor jobs in the night, and she had to raise her kids in the day. She found her calling in beauty and aesthetics and is now a licensed beautician. And my father, he worked all the laborers' jobs you can think of. He worked in automotives, construction, and even in manufacturing. And through education, he was able to become certified in welding, and is now head of welding for a packaging firm in Richmond. And the reason why I'm telling you this, telling you about my family story is because the reason why I'm telling you is because it basically shows you the substance of my upbringing. I wasn't born in a privileged family, and I wasn't handed everything. Everything in life I've had to work for, and it made me realize how much you have to appreciate, like the value of hard work, the importance of education and keeping an open mind, and just being grateful for every blessing that you have in life. And I feel like I owe it to my parents to prove to them that their sacrifices for me aren't in vain. And that really has been my mindset for these last couple of years, working at TD and doing my schooling at UBC. Right now, I'm in my 4th year at UBC, studying business, and I still try to find time to give back to the community as much as possible. So I do feed food to the homeless every now and then. I teach food and nutrition to inner city kids during the break, and I try to participate in one of the city's environmental initiatives every now and then. So I just want to say, so lastly, before I begin the gist of the presentation, I just want to say how blessed I am to be part of this TD family. So this is the CSR role. This is the CSR role slide. So in case you haven't worked as a CSR ever in your life, or you just forgot about it, basically the customer service representative role is, in my view, the most important role at the bank, because really you're the face of the bank. The industry that we operate in, it's a very competitive market. all the competitors more or less offer the same product and service. So that's why clients and customers, they don't bank with us based on our products. They bank with us based on how we treat and service our customers day in and day out. And that's really what led TD to form its competitive advantage in delivering the legendary customer experience. And really, that's where CSRs come in. So what I did here was I listed the key responsibilities of a CSR down there, clear and concise for you. It's provide sound frontline advice, spur business growth, and wow the customer. And I think this is what every CSR strives to achieve day in and day out. So when I say, so I'm just going to go into my interpretation of these three over here. So provide sound frontline advice. What I mean by that is finding your opportunities and trying to make sure the customer knows a service that they could be a benefit of. This could be knowledge, this can be a tangible product, or this can be an intangible service. It doesn't matter. When I say spur business growth, what I mean by that is sometimes when the customer service representative is faced with an opportunity in terms of investments or mortgages, when it's out of our capacity, we have the solemn obligation to refer to someone who can handle that kind of issue and different product. When I say wow every customer, it's a really gray area because there's no definite definition of it, but it's basically going beyond the call of duty to make sure that the customer is respected and valued from us, because their business with us is earned and it's not granted. And that's basically what wow every customer means in my eyes. Now, how we achieve all three of those objectives is through the customer experience model. So I'm sure that we're all familiar with this, so I'm not going to go deep into it. I just want to give you my interpretation of what I believe. Just want to give you my interpretation of it so you know what I'm thinking when I see this posted in the lunchroom. So for receive, what I'm thinking is it's basically how you inbound the customer, how you set the tone for the interaction with the customer. And that's really important because that's how you engage the customer initially. For understand, this step revolves around the concept of active listening. It basically means giving the customer the opportunity to state their wants, needs, and problems fully without interruption. Help refers to carrying out the promised task in a very efficient manner, carrying it out in a prioritized fashion, and just making sure the customer knows that you are addressing their needs and their wants. Now for key, this is where wow every customer comes in. It's basically closing the interaction and giving the customer the reason to continue to bank with us day in and day out. Alright, so I'll just go into my typical day, because this is basically our little topic of discussion for right now. So this is my schedule from 6:15 to 10:30. This is for a typical day, for example Tuesday, for a 3 to 8:15 shift. It's kind of, so the reason why it's listed out so efficiently here is because it's my little game plan I have before, during, and after a shift. It's kind of similar to like the little rituals that athletes have before and after a game. So from 6:15 to 7, I wake up and I wait for the markets to open. So don't get me wrong, it is a struggle to wake up at 6:15, but I do it because it just helps me become more alert, and it helps me pre-wake up for later on when I do need to have to wake up. The reason why I try to gauge into the market to see what's up is because one of the things that I really like to do is I like to predict the market. I like to see if it's going to be bullish or bearish for the day, because I'm really into channel trading, and I'm a trader, stock trader. So once I gauge the market and I know the basic direction, that's when I go back to bed, of course. And I sleep until about 9:30, so for about 2 hours and a half. Wake up at 9, it's not as much of a struggle, but I shower, and then I take a quick shower, and then I go straight to the gym. So I go to the Vancouver Racket Club, and I do cardio and I do weight training just to get myself pumped for the day, set the tone for the day, and yeah. Then after the gym, I go straight to Tim Hortons, which is on Marine and Burn. There's a TV there, 9702, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think I've seen you.
For the ATS celebration.
So I go there and I go to Tim Hortons and I just drink my coffee and I just try to relax. I try to read a book. I read the newspaper, keep myself up to date with what's going on in the world. It's basically this time. This is one of the most important times to read because that's kind of like my me time, where I get to put things into perspective, where I get to relax for once, before later on where I have to work and be on my game. So once I'm finished at Tim Hortons, I go straight home, I shower again, and then I prepare for my TD shift. And what I refer to when I say prepare for a TD shift is this includes activities like gelling my hair, shaving my mustache even though I don't have one, moisturizing my face to make sure I look part, ironing my suits, and just going over like the pitches for the products and services that we have to offer every day on the job. So the reason why I do all those things is because it helps me stay focused. Because when you're on the job, I only get 5 hours to prove myself, and that's something that like. That time is very important to me, and I deem it as like one of the most important times of my days. So I strive to always be excellent when I'm in that 3 to 8:15 slot. So when I'm at 3 to 8:15 when I start my shift, I'm basically in my zone. I have a distinct, like my wicket is in a very distinct manner. My keyboard and monitor is at a very comfortable level. I have a cup of water hiding behind the wicket. I have brown pocket money envelopes ready to go. I have a stapler that's filled with staples. I even have one of these things right here. It's basically a sales form that I created, and it helps me keep track of my progress throughout the whole day. So I know that. So if it's like 6 p.m. and I have 2 hours left and I don't have anything there, it gives me motivation to push something, to make sure that I'm still achieving that mandate that I set out, providing frontline advice, which is one of the most important things. And as you can see, 9 to 10:30, that's when my shift is over, and I head home. And you can see throughout the whole day, I don't really eat anything. I only sustain myself with a cup of coffee. That's just me. And that's something I have to work on. But so when I go home at 9 o'clock, I eat a really massive dinner. I eat a couple bowls of rice, eat a lot of meat, a lot of protein, just to gain nutrients and stuff, and I just go to sleep. So lastly, I just want to go over, this is the last slide, I just want to go over motivation and basically what motivates me. So I think in my opinion, motivation is basically the reason why you wake up every morning to do what you do. And I'll try to touch upon what it means to me in this sense over here. So basically for students, right now, like I'm working at TD part-time, but I also tutor and mentor 4 students on the side. I teach them math, and I teach them English, and I teach them a little bit of elementary science. I'm not really that good at that. But I also mentor them. And the reason why they are my motivation is because they look up to me. And I think that when you are put in a position of constant pressure, when all eyes are on you at all times, when people look up to you, I think you have that responsibility to make sure that they have a reason to look up to you, to make sure that you feel like you get that duty to give them a reason to look up to you. Now for family and friends, this is basically the group of people who've been with me through the most difficult and the most greatest of times. They always provide me with that unbiased opinion whenever I'm feeling insecure or have no faith in myself. And I think when you are valued that much and you are loved that much from friends and family, you feel like you have a solemn obligation to just make sure that you deserve that kind of people in your life. Now the last 2 over here, managers and mentors, this is basically the group. who teach me, who challenge me and push me to achieve my potential. And I'm fortunate to have that kind of mentorship at my branch, who are coaches and who make sure that I'm never settling for less and I'm always stepping out of my comfort zone at all times. And I'm really appreciative of that fact, and that's basically my motivation and why I do what I do every single day. That's basically the presentation. So before I get into questions, I just want to say thank you once again for giving me this time. Yeah, are there any questions that I could address?
I've got a question for you. You had reading on there. I think your 11:30 to 1:30 slot.
Yes.
Somewhere around there. What are you reading right now?
Basically, I like to read the news. I like to touch upon, I also read books from home, basically memoirs or basically books that inspire me to achieve potential. Because I think it's always good to have that kind of outside thinking. So I read The Alchemist, I read entrepreneurship books to make sure that I'm always pushing myself to do something else. I like to read Thomson Reuters, news, Bloomberg, and also Market Watch, for sure. Thank you.
Where should I invest $5,000?
Advise on that because I don't have my license yet. Later on, once I get my license, I will.
The test you passed.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Where do I see myself in 10 years? Right now, I am going to graduate. I'm in year 4 right now, so I'm going to graduate next year.
What are you graduating, sir?
UBC.
No program.
Well, business. I'm at business right now. But once I finish my degree, I hope to probably get into a couple sales roles first. And then hopefully I can get into I can move somewhere in Toronto where I step totally out of my comfort zone and just do something totally different. I really don't know. Perhaps financial planning or portfolio management, or maybe even a people manager role. Hopefully. Yeah.
So before work, you mentor and you teach others.
Yeah.
During your shift, do you have the opportunity, or how do you motivate the rest of your team?
How do I motivate the rest of my team? So during our branch is very, very busy. And I think Suman and Keith and Connie can attest to that. But when our branch is not too busy and there's time, I like to sit down with the newer employees and try to bounce ideas off on different products and stuff. Try to make sure that they know the ins and outs, the gist of the product, so that they can deliver the sale, basically. I also try to spend time outside the branch with the newer employees as well, and also with the current employees, to try to make sure that even though I might be doing good at a pitch, I can always be better. So I'm always trying to get ideas from other people as well. And I think if you share ideas and you share knowledge, that makes you so much more closer, and that makes you so much more of a team.
Where'd you find him?
You're a brother.